I looked it up. I think that the first Changing Faces, Changing Spaces conference was around the year of 2006. And I think it was in that very, very, very first year that there was a declaration.
Yes.
I don't want to give away too much, but you tell us a little bit about that, that moment of that photo.
Yes, it's very important that I tell the background of this.
Yes, please.
Um, After there was a period of time that the donors had put an embargo, a funding embargo on Uganda.
Okay.
And actually, indeed, most of East Africa, but the main target was Uganda. And that is because there had been a lot of misappropriation of resources and stuff like that. And so when we came in to do serious work, the donors were so used to the opportunists who had come before. And they probably thought we are also going to be the same. So they put an embargo on funding, and we had to do a lot of work. I remember myself, Kasha Jacqueline, we did a lot of lobbying with Ford Foundation, who was leading was representing the donors, to actually apologize for the sins of those who came before us and for the mistakes that they have made, and to commit to building a culture of transparency and accountability. Eventually, after serious consultations with so many donors, they opened up, and they were going to fund East Africa again. And they were, but then with new strategies, and one of the strategies was that there was going to be a basket fund in East Africa, the basket fund in a region with people working in that region who know better what is happening within the region. In fact, for those who don't know, that is how UHAI was formed. That is the basket fund that was formed out of that process. So this meeting that was taking place that Lizzo mentioned must have been 2007. I think it must have been 2007, because then it was not the actual meeting that started the Changing Spaces. Changing Spaces, one of the products of the engagements with the donors. At the end of the engagements, we had a meeting in Nairobi, a meeting that now the Changing Faces, Changing Spaces comes from, which became a meeting that would happen almost, I think, every year or every 2 years. So the first Changing Faces, Changing Spaces is where this happened. And I said, I want to meet trans people tonight in Nairobi. And I called the trans women, they called each other. And before I knew it, I was surrounded by so many trans people, probably about 15. So many means 15. 15 then was a big number. They were surrounding me at this bar. And we were drinking all night. But I told them the story. And I told them how angry I am. And everybody was telling their stories of how angry some people in the LGBTQ community have made them feel, how they have felt like killing themselves even, for what family has made them feel. Like these are trans people, gender non-conforming people, telling the stories of the the plight they have faced within the community. And so that night was filled with anger from trans people. An idea came. I don't remember how it came up, because we saw the program of the conference, and you see even in the conference, they have all these workshops taking place. They have all these panels taking place. And still on the panels, there's no representation of transgender people. But we have been invited to Nairobi to witness. And, every activist was bringing out ideas, and then they decide, let's draft a document. We are going to take over this conference at an opportune moment. And maybe it is in one of those sessions we will all rise up and go and protest what the organizers have done here to exclude us from the real work at the conference. So we drafted a document in that night. We called it the Nairobi Trans Declaration because we were going to make a declaration. And in that conference, indeed, at some point, in fact, we waited for the closure. We took over the mic and we took over the program for the for the event, and we stood up there on the stage and read out our declaration, the picture which was shown earlier. And that was a very, very big step and a very big move and a historical moment for the trans movement in East Africa when we took up space and claimed a space where we were just on the menu and claimed it as our space. And it encouraged the organizing within the region so much.